Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at the second film in the Eiichi Kudo's Samurai Revolution trilogy box set. So it is 1964's The Great Killing. So this is again a period samurai drama, clocks in at 118 minutes long. Stars again the likes of Chietzo Katakoa and Kotaro Satomi, who returned from the first film. But in this one, we have, in addition to those, Toro Aibe, who was in the likes of Zatucci the Fugitive, Zatucci Meets the One-Armed Swordsman, and Blood of Revenge, which is a Radiant's film release from this year as well. You also got Mikajiro Ohira, who was in like the Three Outlaw Samurai, and the third and fourth of the Miyamoto Musashi films. Again, another release from this year. And you've also got the likes of Yoshio Inaba, who was in Seven Samurai, Harakiri, and the third Japanese Godfather film, Japanese Godfather Conclusion. Again, another release from this year. So, yeah, several new releases on Blu-ray from several actors there. So, a shogunate elder connives to rule Japan by making his puppet, the shogun's brother, the next shogun. Sorry, I'm suffering a bit from a cold at the moment. The best strategist in Japan, Yamaga, leads a plot to stop the elder, but his cabal is betrayed, and most of the conspirators are captured and tortured. So, yeah, this has a broadly similar plot to 13 Assassins. You know, you got people that are in the kind of political sphere of Japan, but they are noticing that there are, political wranglings going up or going on higher up that are threatening the country itself, and they are leading a plot basically to stop that from happening, which is a lot like 13 Assassins. But this goes in a much darker and more visceral direction than that film, while the first act is definitely better than that film as well. This is down to the violence being far harsher, the camera work and action being way more frenetic, especially when it comes to the final act. In terms of the camera work, it does feel at times that it is being handheld, and there's a particular scene in the final act where a lot of the fighting is going on in a river, and there's water splashing on the camera and such and such. So yeah, it does feel like it's getting right in there with the action rather than taking a step back like the first film did. And it doesn't shy away from the brutal rule of those in charge, nor the consequences that can occur when fighting back. The cast is also great. The chaotic final act is extremely well done. It is well paced, it is more consistent of being engaging than the prior film. The production is effective, the character interactions are well written, and the build up to the final act is excellent. So, on the whole, I do prefer this to the first film, to be honest, and it gets a 4.5 out of 5. Spectacular, really. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, it gets a rated an 18, unlike the first film, which got rated a 15, I believe. Yeah, because even though both of them are saying it's because of sexual violence, as you can see, this is way harsher in terms of that regard, but also the actual violence, lots of swordplay and such, is more violent as well. So that's ultimately why it gets rated an 18. There is the disc itself. Obviously, like with the first film, we've got reversible sleeve artwork as well, which I believe is the original poster. So we'll go alongside the new artwork. And yeah, on the disc itself, we once again have a high definition Blu-ray presentation with original lossless Japanese mono audio, and alongside that, optional newly translated English subtitles. It's mono audio, like I said, but it's also in black and white and aspect ratio of 235:1. I think this probably looks a little bit better in terms of quality than 13 Assassins, but that could just be subjective. But on terms of extras, you got a brand new audio commentary by film critic David West, Magician of Light and Shadow, a brand new video essay by film critic and Japanese cinema expert Daisuke Mayo on the cinematography scene in the film, Samurai Gorilla Part 2, an archival interview with where Eiichi Kudo's former assistant director Misao Arai and filmmaker Dirty Kudo discuss the JDK genre and expand on its on the political dimension of the Great Killing. And then you got Masaki Ito remembers Eiichi Kudo, a tribute to the director by his former assistant and brother-in-law, and then the artwork that I've shown you already, in terms of the new one that is, as well as a reversible. So yeah, excellent film. Overall improves on the elements that I didn't much care for in 13 Assassins, while also crucially going in a slightly different direction to make up for the fact that it does have ultimately a similar plot. So, yeah, really, really enjoyable. I won't say enjoyable because it is, like I said, quite harsh in terms of its themes and the violence and such, but definitely an engaging effort, and definitely one, like I said, is more consistent throughout in terms of being engaging as well, as the first act is definitely stronger than the first film. I'd say the second act is mostly on par with the first act of the first film, because it does slow down ever so slightly, but it more than makes up for it by the final act, which again has some similarities to 13 Assassins, but it's way more violent, way more frenetic. The camera work is better, and it's a lot darker in terms of what actually happens as well. On top of all of that, so yeah, really, really great film. Looking forward to seeing what the third film, 11 Samurai, is going to be like now, considering how great this one is. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen The Great Killing before, let's hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.